Customs and Excise Department wishes to remind its importers of the import clearing requirements. Importers are required to present a copy of his or her government-issued ID. Not able to clear your goods? Not a problem. The Customs Department allows persons to clear on behalf of an importer. The importer will be required to send a letter addressed to the Controller of Customs, granting permission to the person to clear on their behalf, along with a copy of their ID. The person clearing on behalf of the importer will be required to also present a copy of their government-issued ID. Please also be reminded that the name on the import must match the name on the importer's ID. To avoid any delays or inconvenience, all importers are asked to adhere to these requirements.
Good morning, radio listeners, and welcome to another edition of Customs Corner. I am Kevon Brown, and I am joined again today by the Communications and PR Officer for the Customs and Excise Department, Kishma Griffin. Good morning, Ms. Griffin.
Good morning, Kevon, and good morning to your listening audience.
All right, so the topic for discussion again today is the new cargo operation procedures in light of the COVID-19 pandemic that was discussed during Monday's edition of Customs Corner. And the Customs Department wants to come back again and reiterate the new guidelines to facilitate a smoother, more efficient, and COVID-19 friendly operations for the clearing of cargo. Ms. Griffin?
Okay, so once again, it's a pleasure to be back on Customs Corner. And last week, we would have introduced the public to the peak season COVID-19 operating procedures. And today, I'm here to, as you say, reiterate these procedures. We initiated the new process on Monday, the 7th of December. So the procedure is basically 4 days old. So before I go into where we are at present, let me give you a background of the process. So in light of COVID-19 pandemic, the Customs and Excise Department and the Air and Seaports Authority formed a special committee that was tasked with implementing a procedure to facilitate the quick release of cargo from the transit sheds while adhering to COVID-19 protocols. How does the new procedure work? Okay, so first of all, no importer will be allowed on the compound if their goods are not ready to be collected. So how it works, importers are required to submit all their invoices to their agents in a timely manner. The agent will be responsible for being present during the examination process, and they are basically there on behalf of the importer. The agent is responsible for communicating to their customers when the cargo is ready for collection. The importer would then proceed to the customs. Their temperature would be taken, their hands sanitized, and contact information would be recorded. The officers would verify if their goods are ready, and the customer would then be given a ticket, advised to take a seat under the tent until they are called. When their goods are located, they will be called to proceed to the warehouse. Sanitization will occur again upon entering the warehouse. They will proceed to the customs officer, pay whatever duties and taxes that they might be required to pay. Then they would go over to the port authority, pay their port dues, and their cargo will come up, and they are free to go. So, and the time frame we have for this is like 20 minutes.
Right. And that, I think that was one of the biggest selling points that we spoke about earlier this week on Monday, is that the process should be quick and easy and seamless.
Yes.
Right. And we've been joined by Tishelle. Good morning, Tishelle.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
1 second. So, Tishelle, could you maybe describe to the audience what the situation is with port again concerning the the protocols, how it's like for port, because Miss Griffin mentioned the protocols from the customs side of things, but could you reiterate the ports, SCASPA's side of the protocols?
Okay, first and foremost, good morning to the listening public. My name is Tisha McLean, Operations Officer for St. Christopher E&C Ports Authority. With regards to the process for the Port Authority, we are the custodians of the cargo, so we deal with the handling and releasing aspect of it. With reference to the handling part of it, we update the website when a container has been stripped on and the cargo has been made available to the customers. We are impressing on our agents to continue this partnership with us to ensure that when their customers come, that they inform them that they do not come to the Port Authority unless their cargo is listed as ready. To continue in regards to the handling part of it, when you come to window number 1 and 2, which will deal with customs and port, you will get your port form and your gate pass. Then we will deal with bringing on your cargo, and all you have to do is just come out, collect it, and leave. And as Krishma said, that takes you basically 20 minutes.
All right. So, listening audience, if you have any questions for Miss McLean and Miss Griffin this morning, they're one from SCASPA, one is from Customs. If you have any questions, please call in. The numbers are 465-0989, 662-0989, or 762-0989 to clear up any concerns or questions that you may have. And one of the concerns that you brought up last time was security or theft being an issue. Was that another thing that was?
That seems to be a concern for some people, having their goods checked without them being present. But we want to assure the public that the process, it basically annihilates the risk of theft. So let me explain to you what happens. The customs officers, along with the Port Authority, along with the agent who is acting on behalf of the customer, will all be present for the examination process. So at the end of the day, the agent, they're going to ensure that what came out of your barrel or box goes back in and it is sealed and secured. So let me just say that to alleviate any stress or any concerns. Your goods are safe. And there's also security. We have cameras, surveillance cameras. So it's a safe process. So you can rest assured that your goods will be safe.
Okay. And as you mentioned, the process is now 4 days old. Have there been any additional concerns that customers have been communicating with you guys?
Well, so far,
Kishma is finished.
okay. I will tell you from the customs point.
Okay.
So far, we are hearing that the process is working. They like it. They don't have to come back. They don't have to spend days at the port to get their goods. They like the process. They enjoy the fact that they come, they sit, they wait, they chat on their phone, they Google, they do whatever they have to do, they WhatsApp, and then they get a call in to come inside to clear their goods, and then they're free to go. So the feedback that we're getting is positive. I'm not sure on Tisha's end what she's getting, so...
Okay, I'll give you the feedback from both ends because what I try to do is listen to the public feedback. So I listen to the radio to hear what persons are saying. And what we try to do is build on it because this is a new process. So we'll have to tweak accordingly as we go. With reference to the damages, if damages have been incurred for any persons who have cleared their stuff so far, we do offer a customer service desk with customs. So you can go and query your concerns, not only with damages, but also with the value that has been listed or charged upon their cargo. And if you have your receipt, then you could present it and the adjustments will be made, correct, Kishma?
Yes, we actually had a lady that came up this morning who was seeking reassessment, and she left very happy. Okay. So, like I said, I am getting the positive sides of it. So.
Okay, we also had another situation where a customer stated that they were missing some stuff with reference to, I'm going to make reference to the general thing. Food stuff. But what happened, they have to understand that customs, if something comes in a box or anything, they have to cut it down and examine it to make sure that what is listed in it. Let's say, for example, meat kind or some sort of that dry meat kind, then they have to verify that is what is in there. So yes, it's not going to come to you home in the same box that it was in. It's going to be cut down and open, so you will actually see what is inside. But with reference to stuff like, families might send, if you have a large household, persons might send things for different individuals within the household, and they might be bagged. So what we've asked customs to do in working in collaboration with them is to ensure that when they do open a bag, if as much as possible, that they could ensure that whatever is listed in that bag, it's placed back into that bag. So like I said, it's a learning process. But we've been getting some good feedback in regard to how fast the process is, and I must say that so far things are going well.
Okay, well, that's good. Again, listening audience, if you have any questions, any queries, any concerns, any issues, please call in. The ladies are here and willing to answer your questions or address any issues you may have. The numbers are 4650989, 6620989, or 7620989.
Kevin, before you
Yes.
go any further, I would like to also mention, and I did speak about it on Monday, but so let me reiterate. We're asking that no children be brought to the premises, and secondly, come alone. So, no entourage, please. You come to clear your package, your barrel, you come alone. We do not have the space to accommodate, in light of the protocols and social distancing. We do not have the space to accommodate family members or friends or crew. So we're asking you to come alone.
Okay. As you've heard, it is very important that individuals do come alone. And it's not to impede on your movements in any way. It's just to facilitate the expedient maneuvering of the
Correct.
process.
Correct.
All right. Is there any other aspects that you want to bring to light?
Let me just add a few.
Yes.
With reference to persons coming with their private vehicles, we are asking that you ensure that your driver is on standby, meaning in the same area, so that when your process is finished, you can leave. What we've had over the last few days is that persons have cleared their cargo but wish to sit in the waiting area while they wait for their drivers. Now, truckers are on site, so that is not the situation that they're waiting for a trucker, but their private vehicles, they have to wait for the persons to come. This slows up the process because we have to ensure the social distances, and what we're doing basically is dealing with 10 persons at a time. So if you're sitting in there, you're loitering basically, and it prohibits additional persons from coming in.
Okay. So another important factor is to have, if you're using a private vehicle, private trucker, private transportation, period, to have that vehicle ready on standby. It has to be, assuming the best option would be for the driver to be there or the vehicle to be there during the entire process, to be on quick call whenever.
Well, the driver will wait outside.
Yes,
Yeah.
outside, I mean.
And when ready, they will be allowed to, because the importer will go back through the gates, collect their driver. Of course, the driver has to go through the same process of having their information recorded, being sanitized, temperature taken. So that's basically how it will work.
Okay. With respect to what Miss McLean said, I think she was making reference to the fact that sometimes people's drivers are on their way,
Yes.
waiting.
So you have the persons are sitting inside waiting for their drivers. So how it will look in the waiting area is that we have a congestion, and we are supposed to ensure that we do the social distancing, which is 6 feet apart. So we're asking that persons ensure that the drivers are outside when they're there waiting to expedite the process.
And what it also does is keep back the process, because we can only allow in a certain amount at a time. So if you're in there just sitting relaxing, there's somebody else outside whose goods are ready to be cleared and can't do so because they need one out for one to come in.
Right. So it impedes on one of the biggest selling factors, the fact that the process is supposed to be 20 minutes.
Yes.
Right, right. And then we are reminding our importers to ensure that you submit your invoices, so that you don't have any delays, and so that the customs is not forced to value your goods. Because if they don't have the invoices on hand, they would have to assess them, and then you run into the risk of you need a revaluation, right? And so for those types of queries, what we are asking the public, so in the event that you feel like you've been unfairly assessed, you can call us and we will set up an appointment, because it has to go on based on our appointment in light of the fact that we are trying to social distance.
Right.
So we will set up an appointment where you can come up and see the officer that is responsible for the reassessment.
Okay.
But we're just asking, please ensure that you submit all your invoices to the agent.
Well, can we speak a bit about how customs assesses the goods if there are no invoices? How is the assessment done specifically?
Okay, so it's done based on similar products.
Mhm.
So for example, you bring in a hair blower.
Mhm.
A similar hair blower might cost $30. So it's based on similar goods. And then you have to remember these officers, these examining officers that's their job, right? So they have a pretty good handle on how to conduct evaluation.
Okay. But it kind of saves the process a little bit if
Correct.
the
Correct.
evaluation is done
Correct.
previously. And it saves the need to do any reassessment. You mentioned that a hotline would be coming on board. What's the status of
Yes,
that?
we were really, really hoping that by yesterday it would have been in full operating manner, but glitches occur, and so we're still awaiting the hotline. We are hoping that by tomorrow it might be up and running, and so like I said on Monday, as soon as it becomes available, I will communicate that to you so that you can probably post it on your website, and we would have it on our website also so that customers can call, because the idea is you can call to verify if your goods are ready, because remember, we ask you not to come if your goods are not ready.
Right.
And if they're not ready, you're not allowed to hang around, unfortunately.
And the hotline can also be used to query about any other
Correct.
information
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
All right. Has there been any specific part of the process that, I know it's still young, but apart from the vehicle problem, the lack of, fluidity with transportation being ready outside, has there been any other problem with the process so far?
Actually, no. Usually when you check outside, which is the first point of entry, it fluctuates. So far, we haven't had any congestion, but you see, our largest vessel came in on Tuesday, so we just started working the containers, which is tropical. So you will see a difference between today and up to Saturday. And we are open this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and next week Saturday as well to accommodate the public.
Right. So,
And what I would also like to add is that so what makes this process so speedy is the fact that the customs officers are working behind the scenes. So when you are home snoozing, they are actually at the port along with the port officer and the agent, ensuring that the goods are being examined and processed so that they are ready for you in the morning. So on Saturday and Sunday, our officers worked all day into night just to ensure that on Monday morning, the goods were ready for the customers to collect.
all in an effort to make this process as
Correct.
seamless as
Correct.
possible.
We're trying to eliminate the frustration. The past frustration where you would come up and your goods are not ready and you have to come to Shell like for 3 weeks in a row for one barrel.
For one barrel.
Yeah, we don't, that is going to be non-existent going forward.
Okay. Again, if you have listening audience, if you have any questions or queries or concerns, please feel free to call us. The number is 465-0989, 662-0989, or 762-0989. Please call in. And you have 2 representatives here who are ready to answer your
Exactly.
questions. Please call in.
Kevin, I cannot understand why they're not calling in, because I'm sure they have their concerns. I'm sure they have their questions, and this is the perfect time for you to call in when you have a representative from the customs and from the port.
Exactly.
So,
And it might not necessarily have to do with the procedures, but any other questions or concerns that you may have, or any suggestions that you may have to engage in a conversation. This is an opportunity to engage in a public conversation with the customs and with SCASPA. So please use this opportunity. Could you go over the procedures again for the listening audience so that they know what we're speaking of?
okay, so we are asking our importing public to ensure that you submit all your invoices to your agent you will not be allowed to be on compound unless your goods are ready for pickup. The agent is the one who will be responsible to notify you when your goods are available. You will proceed to the customs. You would have your temperature taken. You would have your information recorded, and you will sanitize. You will be issued with a ticket. Once the officer verifies that your goods are available, you will be issued a ticket. You would be asked to have a seat under the tent. And once your goods are up and ready for collection, you would proceed to the customs. You would pay your whatever duties and taxes that you might have to pay, which might be very, very small or next to nothing or absolutely nothing because of the concession that the government has granted. Then you will proceed to the Port Authority. And we are asking people to remember, you have to wear your mask and you must adhere to all the protocols. There are markings on the floor. You are asked to follow the markings. You're asked to respect the rules. Otherwise, you'll be asked to leave. And you would not want the customs to ask you to leave. So let's adhere to the protocols. And then I will let Tisha tell you what happens on the port end.
Okay, from the time you go to customs and you pay your relevant custom fees, you move on to the next window, which will be the Port Authority counter. They will be issued your port form based on the fees that they will be collecting from you, in addition to your gate pass. Gate pass meaning that you're leaving shortly because you're collecting your cargo. While this process is going on, where you're at customs, we will already have your stuff out on the floor. So after you get your gate pass, you go outside, you collect your cargo, and that's it. You just leave. For persons who do not have truckers, we do have truckers on site. They're adjacent to the building. So when you come out, you just select your trucker. For those who have their own private vehicles, we're asking that when you're in the line to do your gate passes, that you have your information, which is the name of the driver, in addition to the vehicle number. Okay. This will help to expedite the process. Again, I would like to impress on what Kishma said. Children are not allowed on the compound. So this kind of hampers us in the sense of doing any compactment in regards to having too many persons in one area, especially with a child around, because the risk is much higher then.
Right.
So we're asking persons not to have children on the compound, and again to impress with the social distancing policies. As she stated, there are outlines on the line, in the floor, so that you could stand the relevant spaces apart. But just know that the process, it's a learning process, and we are tweaking accordingly, so we will get it right eventually. Okay?
All right. So,
and wait, in addition, I did mention that you would get the information from your agent, but you can also log on to the Port Authority's website.
Yes.
And you get your container information as to whether your goods are ready for pickup. So, Tisha, if you can tell them the website.
Okay, it's www.scaspa.com. And we also have the process. So if you did not hear what we're discussing today, you could also look online for the process, and it outlines step by step what the process is for both customs and port.
All right. Again, I am hoping that someone will call in with a question or a concern, a suggestion, or maybe tell us of their experience. Maybe it was someone that already went through the experience and can attest to the seamless nature of the new protocols. Again, the numbers are 465-0989, 662-0989, or 762-0989. And remember the important factors of these procedures. The 20-minute time, I think that's the best selling point. the most important selling point, you're in and out in 20 minutes. That is an incredible amount of time to spend clearing goods.
Could
Just
you
20
imagine?
minutes.
Could you imagine going from
hour.
days to
Yes,
20 minutes?
to 20 minutes. That sounds like a dream, as I said before. Sounds great. But also to reiterate that for COVID-19 compliance, persons or importers are asked not to have an entourage. We have a caller. Caller, you're live on Customs Corner.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question.
Go right ahead.
Am I to understand that even if you only have one barrel, you have to get a broker to clear it? My barrel might be free, but now I have to pay hundreds of dollars to the broker to clear it for me. Can you please clarify on that one?
Okay, so how the process works,
I'll listen off here. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
okay, so how the process works is you have an agent. Whatever means you would have brought your goods to the island, you have an agent. The agent, unfortunately, because in light of what's going on with COVID and the fact that we have to adhere to the protocols,
Right.
so in light of that, we are not allowing people to come up and clear their stuff individually. Yes, I understand her concern, one barrel, whether it's one barrel or one box. We have to maintain these protocols. Let's just think of it from a different angle. One person enters the port with COVID. The entire staff, Port Authority and Customs, must be quarantined. What happens after that? I know it's some people might find it to be an inconvenience, but it is a necessary inconvenience because of the state of what's going on right now. So
Right.
even though it's one piece, yes, you're not allowed to come up and clear it.
So goods are to be cleared by the agents.
And I think you're being represented by the agent at no cost. At no cost. The agents are not charging you for them being there. So I'm not sure what the lady is speaking about when she says a broker. You do not need a broker unless you have commercial stuff. But we are talking about non-commercial cargo. So she has a barrel. She does not need a broker for the barrel. The agent is going to be there to represent her, to ensure that her stuff are being examined and packed back properly. So it's not a case where she has to be paying a brokerage fees.
I think it went back to the question that I had on Monday concerning, well, you guys cleared it up that regardless of how goods are brought in, every good has an agent. Every carrier has an agent.
Yes.
And some people might not know that those carriers have agents. So it's to get that information out there that these carriers do have these agents. These agents are this company, that company, or that, and they're in charge of clearing the goods
And
for you.
they're not in charge of clearing the goods. No,
Well,
you're going to clear your goods on
you're-
your own.
yes.
What happens is, during the examination process by customs, they're going to be there acting on your behalf to ensure that your goods are safe, that they go through the normal process. So that's the purpose for them being there. So there's no brokerage fee for that. In the case where they might need to know who is a particular agent, that's when Tishel comes in. They can call there and get that information.
Yes, you can. You can call 465-8121 or 8122 and ask to be transferred to the operations department. We have someone there who can answer your concerns. But with reference to the agents part of it, as Kishma said, a lot of persons don't know their agents. And sometimes when the agent calls one time when your cargo is here and you don't answer, they don't usually make it a habit of calling back. So if you're not sure when your cargo comes in, because we do charge after 5 working days, we do charge excess storage fees. So we're asking persons, if you are expecting something, that you call and you can check us as well if you do not get in touch with your agent or if you do not know who the agent is.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you, caller, for calling in and asking your question. We are now at the end of Customs Corner for today. But please, if you have any other questions or concerns or queries, you can reach the Customs office by Ms. Griffin.
Yeah, 466-7227. And you can always call and ask for me, or you can ask anyone at the reception. Ask them your questions, and they would be able to channel you to whoever might be able to assist you. Like I said, we're going to be having a hotline, and as soon as I get that number for you, I will let you know so that you can disseminate that information for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, ladies, for another iteration of Customs Corner. Continue listening to WinFM 98.9 for Voices coming up next.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.